Welcome back on Dynamo. Today I want to propose you the third part about the videos related to Forbidden Power. That it's the new release about Age of Sigmar. In the beginning I decided to do only a video about this part, that it's about the rules for Forbidden Power for the match play. Simply I noticed that there were quite a lot of things to talk about, so I decided to separate it in different videos so that you can choose which one you are interested about and go to see it. So I realized 4 videos, one that it's about the Realm of Battle Styx, one that it's about the Letesian army, one that it's about the Legions of Grief, and one about the Mercenary. So that you can go to see the one that you are interested about, and anyway you have a complete analysis and you can choose which one or all the ones that you are interested about. Remember that you can find all the videos and also the other ones about the unboxing of the set box of Forbidden Power and the unboxing of the book of Unforbidden Power. In the description I put the link to the playlist about Forbidden Power. So now we can begin. This video in particular it's about the Legions of Grief, and this is an army that is a new army, a new edges that have the units that goes to be part of such army being having a new keyword that it's Legion of Grief. To be part of such Legion of Grief, you cannot include units that have such keywords, that are the Death Walkers, Death Lords, Death Mages, Death Rattle, or Night Haunt. And if you include some Mortax keyword ones, you have to be include Lady Olinder as the general before to take another Mortax. So I want to remember you, Lady Olinder is the Mortax of the Night Haunts. And you can here see that it's really quite interesting one, because you have quite a lot of interesting mixing that make you create quite a lot of different armies combining such ones. Because for example, just the option that you can have that mages allied with the Night Hounds, it means that you can bring the Mortis and Giants together with the Night Hounds, so have something really amazing to bring as Shiny Caliphate. But now we can go to see the rules about such Legions of Grief. And the first rules that we go to see are about the battle traits. These battle traits, I have yet realized a video about them, because they are correlated quite a lot about the Legions of Nagash Battletome. In fact, the Unquiet Dead, Invigorating Aura, Deathless Minions, and the command ability Endless Legions are the same as in the Legions of Nagash Battletome, but had to make some clarifying about such rules. The first one it's about Invigorating Aura, that has been released also a fact about, and it's that you have to make resurrect a model, have the model with full wounds come back. So if you have a wound characteristic 1 of 1, you don't have any problem, so you can gain back the slain models as much as you gain. But if you have, for example, the model that you want to make come back 2 wounds 1, you need a 3+, but you can't have half model back. So with a 3+, you can gain back only 1 model of 2 wounds. Instead, if you want to make come back a 3 wounds model, you need a 5+ on the dice. Completely forget about using coming back the 4 wounds models, because they can't come back, because they can be fully can make a comeback. So, and moreover, you have also to remember that first you had to heal and then make come back, but they can be combined. So you have to have consuming once for having fully healed the model, and then use another one to make it come back as slain model. So take note about such options. Another change is about the Endless Legions, because when has been released Legions of Nagash Battletome, the rules were different. With the update of the SoulWars, the new game that we have about Age of Sigmar, has been changed the process. So now it works at the end of the movement phase applying such command ability. So it's been changed, but not worry, cause I'll make in the way that when you go to see the video related that I have yet done, you'll find in that description the update of such rules so that you can have a complete referring without any problem. Anyway, you can find the link about that video in the description, so not worry about such a thing. And the specific battle trait about the Legion of Grief, it's Aura of Grief, and this is similar to the one that is Immortal Majesty of the Legion of Blood in the Legions of Nagash Battletome. It lets you subtract 1 from the bravery characteristic of any units while they are within 6 inches of any friendly Legions of Grief unit. So it's really quite interesting. Moreover, if you think that you can combine, for example, with the ones that are the standards in the units that you can take, for example, skeletons, zombies, and so on. So you can gain a -3, so a 2 malus to the bravery, and you can combine even more using the Morgans themselves, so even others. Obviously, you can also make the way that you can combine, for example, with something that is related to the region of war sticks, and so having the spells and other things that can make you gain others maluses to the bravery. So quite a lot of options available to you. Moreover, if you think that you are going to play the Night Hounds, and as mercenaries you can have the Flesh Eater course. Anyway, remember to see the mercenary rules, because I explain a bit about the Flesh Eater course as mercenaries in some way allies to such army. And now we can start to see the command traits about the Legions of Grief. We have 3 available command traits that you can choose from, and they are really quite interesting. The first one is the Amethyst Glove, that make you the general being a wizard, and being a wizard it has access to the Arcane Bolt, Mystic Shield, and because the rules of the spell lore of the Lord of Sorrows that is specific for the Legion of Grief, you have access also to one of such spells that we'll see quite soon. But it's really quite interesting because if the genre that you chosen is yet a wizard, you have the access to one extra spell from the Lord of Sorrows. So you have 2 of such spells available to the genre itself. So it's really quite interesting in such a way. Moreover, you have to think that you can personalize quite a lot of your army with such command trait. Because, for example, with a Wight King, you have access to at least 3 spells, because you have the Arcane Bolt and Mystic Shield, and one of the Lord of Sorrows spells. So it becomes really quite interesting, and you can personalize quite a lot your army, because you can have a Death Rattle, we can see in the Legion of Grief with a Death Rattle theme. So you can have also the mage that you'd be really reluctant to go without outside. So it's really quite interesting as a command trait. The second command trait is Vassal of the Craven King, that lets you, if the general is on the battlefield, each time you spend a command point, roll a dice, and on a 5+, you receive an extra command point. So it's a way not to spend too fast the command points. Obviously, it's something that you have to put on a fate, because you don't have the assurance that you'll be able to gain back it. But anyway, it's quite interesting if you think to combine such command trait with the inclusion of the Kurgos Valentine as model together, so that you can have a sort of way to manipulate in double way the command points themselves. So it can be really quite interesting, and I suggest you to make a try eventually. And then we have the third of the command traits, that is Tragic Emanations, that let you subtract 2 from the bravery characteristic of enemy units while they are within 12 inches of this genre. And this is really quite interesting, because I want to remember you that you have the Aura of Grief. So if you gain the option to be in 6 inches within, it's a malus of 3 to the bravery. That it's at all not bad. It means that someone that has a bravery of 10 goes directly to a bravery of 7. So it's really quite interesting one. Moreover, if you think that you have access to the enchant army, so you can gain even better, for example, some screams from some banshee or so on, some mastery like a flesh eater goods. There are really a lot of ways to improve even better such maluses. So I suggest you to take note about such thing because it's not maybe the best one, but surely can have quite a lot of value as a command trait. And now we can go to see the artifacts of the Legion of Grief, and the first one that we can find is Graves and Gem that make you in the hero phase. So remember that it's before you move, so you have to pay attention to such a thing, and it let you either inflict one mortal wound to an enemy hero, so only hero, not other units, so only the enemies with the keyword hero within 6 inch of the bearer, or heal one wounds that has been previously allocated to the bearer. So it makes you in the way that the bearer itself it's better not to be dependable from standard source, so it can heal and so better heal and pay attention to itself. So it's not quite a lot bad this one, and it's really a artifact that you can choose to play with. The second artifact is Gossery Mortuary Candle that let you subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made with missile weapons that targets the bearer. So it's quite common and nothing special. Sincerely, if you had to choose, I suggest you to go to take the artifacts from the Malign Sorcery, because there at least it worth in the way that it's not only about shooting, but also about close combat. So I think that it's more reliable to play with. And the third artifact is Soul Drain Pendant that let you at the end of the combat phase roll a dice for each enemy unit within 3 inch of the bearer, and on a 4+ that units suffer a mortal wounds. So it's nothing special again, you have to be anyway in close combat to apply it, and it's really quite too casual because it's on a 4+ and it's not quite a lot, sincerely. So I'd suggest you to find some other things. Anyway, there are the ways to combine to have that with, for example, with the spell Wheel of Doom of the Lord of Sorrows that make it a bit better because you amplify the options. But sincerely, I don't find it so successful as artifact to choose. We can go to see the spell lore about the Legion of Grief, and the first spell that we talk about is Dread Withering, that with a casting value of 5+, let you choose an enemy unit within 18 inch and make it gain a malus of 1 on the save rolls about that unit. This is really quite interesting because it seems that it's created in the way that you can make nil the command ability Onyx Shield War of the Letizan army. But anyway, it's really quite interesting in any case because it gives a malus to the save rolls. So sincerely, I think that it becomes really quite interesting and spells and with a quite decent range. So I suggest you to take note about such spell because it can be really quite useful for your army. The second spell is Wheel of Doom that has a casting value of 8+, and if successfully cast, you can roll a dice for each enemy unit within 6 inch of the cast, and on a 4+, that unit suffered D3 mortal wounds. So it's really quite interesting, and it's good to combine it with the Soldier Pendant, but sincerely I find that the cast value is a bit too much. So it's better to play it if you're going to play the Region of War Stygics, that at least make you have better usage of such casting value. And I think that it's quite random because you have maybe a 50% option to have this activated even if you had casted it, and you can have 1 to 3 mortal wounds, but even it's not much reliable. So it's not so great in my opinion as a spell. Surely if you need, it's always useful because anyway it can do damages, but sincerely I don't find it really quite amazing one because it has really quite a small range and small options to activate at the end. The first spell is Shroud of Terror, and this it's quite a good one. It has a casting value of 8+, so in some way you can say me that it's similar to the Wheel of Doom, it's quite high, but it let you pick an enemy unit within 12 inch, so the range is quite bigger, and make you subtract d3 from the bravery characteristic of that unit. And it means that if you are able to combine it, and maybe it's combined with the general, it's a malus of 3. If within 6 inch, it's a malus of 4 to the opponent's units because you had the Aura of Grief, and you can gain even more maluses, and it's the minimum one, this one. So it's really quite interesting in such a way about having decreasing the one about the bravery. So it's really quite interesting. More if you think that you can again combine it with other things that are from the Banshee, they are from the Mercenary Flesh Eater Curse and so on. So it's a spell that even if the casting value is a bit high, but it's really quite useful for the setting that the Legion of Grief make you focus on. So it's really quite interesting one. So what to say about such Legion of Grief alliances? I think that it's really quite interesting, but not everything that shines it's gold. What I mean that you have to take note also about some problems of such alliances, and it's that you can have the alliances that are referred about units, but not Warskol battalions. Okay, you have to remember that about Warskol battalions available from the Legions of Nagash Battletome, you have only one, eventually, because it will be composed by Death Rattle units, but the problem is that it can't be taken at all, and also the ones about Night Hounds, they can't be taken. So you have to take note about such problematic, because it means that you can have, for example, only one artifact available. So you have to keep attention to such things, so you have to choose quite a lot attentively. Moreover, you have also to remember that about the artifacts themselves, you can take only from the Legion of Grief ones or from the Marine Sorcery, because you can't use the artifacts that comes from the Battletome, because they are reference to those allegiances and not to the Legions of Grief one. Anyway, I think that it's really quite amazing one. It's a good way to have a great lot of combinations. You can create an army that it's really spectral, composing, for example, with the Death Mages and the Night Hounds. You can have something that goes against the bravery, and you can combine so the Death Lords, the Death Rattos, the Night Hounds, even combining with the Mercenaries that give you the options about the Flesh Eater Curse. And I remember you that in the description you can find the playlist, and you can find also the video about the Mercenaries, and it can be really quite interesting applied to the Legion of Grief. So you have quite a bit of limitations, but also quite a lot of gains. It's up to you decide if it's something that it makes you value such Legion of Grief. But sincerely, I think that it's something that I suggest you to try, because it can give you quite a lot of different ways to play your army with, and it gains quite a lot of nice compositions in Age of Sigmar. So, from Dino Mode, it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video, or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again to the next time.